Good morning and welcome to day 6. It's amazing how fast it's gone. Welcome to day 6 of Float Week. This is in honor of SacredWaters Kickstarter through May 11th. Thank you to everybody who supported us and to everyone who's thinking about supporting us. Please do. We have a few more days left and we're getting there. We appreciate every single dollar. And your energetic support matters just as much as the number amount. So thank you for everything that you've given, and we're really grateful. We appreciate you. An amazing thing continues to happen. I think the most prevailing experience that I'm getting from floating every day is this space and awareness of my inner reactions, noticing moments when previously I would have responded in a fight or flight kind of way. There's the other ones: fight, flight, flop, flirt, freeze. I haven't been doing any of those. Also, the self-criticism, which I don't know if any of you experience an inner critic. I do. She and I was about to say we're good friends, and I was going to say we're not great friends. We're just kind of roommates, you know. I hear it now much more quickly when she starts to judge. For instance, this morning my alarm clock went off and I was already criticizing myself for being late, and it was 6:15 in the morning and I wasn't late. And in this moment when I had to start, instead of like leaning into that feeling of feeling bad about myself for nothing, really, I was able to pause and say, good morning, hello. And that, I think, the experience I was describing yesterday, it's a continuation and an expansion of that. So I'm really grateful. I'm seeing the value of slowing down and connecting before doing anything else. I'm gonna get in there so I can float, because that's why we're here, right? I'll let you know afterwards. Oh, one more little side note. Those of you who know me well, I get a little twitch in my eye. It's only been going on for years. And it was one of the reasons I started floating, actually, was I recognized, like, oh, maybe I have some unaddressed stress. This week, I've noticed that I haven't noticed it at all, really. It hasn't been coming up. I was like waiting to see if it was going to start, right? Nope. Recognizing that that seems to be one of the lasting effects of floating regularly, is that no longer holding that tension here. So, woo. Day 6, post float. I mean, what else is there to say? The float today, I'm at the start. It's kind of a little busy. I had some soap in my eye. You know, I was like rinsing my eye and kind of these little things. And then at a certain point, I was just ready, and it was dropped right in. I don't know if I've ever dropped into a float that quickly before, and I imagine that after, 5 days floating, that helps. And it was one of those floats where I wasn't sleeping, but I wasn't kind of in a normal waking state. And even just the moment before the music came on, again, I had this kind of sense of, and then the music came. The last couple of days, so day 4 and day 5, I felt more of the physical unwinding, where I would kind of feel the shifts in my body. And this morning, I felt just really comfortable in my body right away. And I think that also helped with going deep more quickly. It also reminds me that the amount of time, because your brain is in this altered brainwave state, the amount of time that you spend in the float almost doesn't matter, because that experience is so, it dilates. Also, I didn't want to jinx it, but as a person who can sometimes feel a little down or a little anxious, I could feel that coming on recently a little. and I've learned now how to take steps to care for myself. I know how to do it, it's just a matter of whether or not I do it. And I feel like this week I was doing some of the things, I was using some of the tools that I have for maintaining equilibrium, but I felt like it was an exit on the highway, and I could see it, and the signs were coming, and then I just sailed right past. Today, I feel like I'm just back on the highway, and my co-pilot isn't the inner critic. She might be in the car somewhere, but she's not in the front seat telling me where to go. I feel like each of the floats I've had this week, there's been more than I can talk about in words right away, and that things will come to me later in the day or days later, and all the floats are kind of interconnected, and I feel like my experiences from one is talking to an experience from another. So I expect that I will be continuing to unpack what I've gathered, and I'll continue to understand what I've let go of. I have that feeling too, that there are things I've let go of, and not just a twitch in my eye. So tomorrow is day 7, and I'll be back again for the last day in float week. Our Kickstarter is on through Friday, May 11th, and just again, any bit of support helps, and we appreciate all of it from the whole SacredWaters family. For those of you who've been watching along, thank you. Okay, see you back here tomorrow. And today we have another cat. Another cat visiting. Seems to be a theme. Where's that Animal Speaks book? So, for anyone who's curious, the keynote of the panther is reclaiming one's true power. It is in the hours of darkness that panthers find its greatest element of power. And then, because today's cat was a little bit more like a house cat, their symbolism is mystery, magic, and independence. So